Relief is one of the most dangerous emotions we have because relief feels like safety. It feels like peace. It feels like the right choice. But relief doesn't tell you what's right. It only tells you what stopped hurting for now. And that distinction ruins lives. Most people think bad decisions come from greed, anger, or fear. They don't. They come from relief seeking, from choosing whatever makes attention go away the fastest. That's how trapdoors really work. Not through chaos, through comfort. Just think about the last time you avoided a conversation. You didn't avoid it because you were weak by any means. You avoided it because silence felt better than friction. Your chest may have loosened, your shoulders may have dropped. Your body said, "Thank you." That feeling is relief, and your nervous system logged it in as a win. Here's the problem: relief doesn't care about truth, it doesn't care about alignment, it doesn't care about consequences. Relief only answers one question: did the pressure stop? That's it. Early on, relief is useful. You step away from danger, you leave something harmful, you pause before reacting. But somewhere along the way, people make a quiet mistake. They stop using relief as information and they start using it as direction. That's when everything changes because you're not choosing based on what's right. You're choosing based on what feels the easiest in the moment. And that moment by moment, it reshapes and becomes who you are. Now, hear how it starts. You stay quiet instead of speaking up. You feel relief. You delay a decision instead of confronting it. Again, relief. You lower your standards so things run smoother. Relief again. Nothing explodes. Nothing dramatic happens. So you tell yourself, see, that worked. But something invisible is happening. Each time you choose your relief over alignment, you teach your nervous system a rule. Avoidance equals safety. And once that rule sets in, your body starts steering your life faster than values can react. Now, this is where people get trapped because the body is very persuasive. It cannot convince you that silence is maturity, distance is wisdom, compliance is peace, numbness is balance. And from the outside, it even looks functional. You're calm, you're collective, you're reasonable, and you're not causing any problems. But inside, something is shrinking. Here's a point nobody warns you about. There's a moment when relief stops feeling like relief and it starts feeling like maintenance. You're no longer avoiding discomfort occasionally. You're organizing your entire life around not triggering it. You plan conversations carefully. You manage people instead of relating to them. You anticipate reactions before they happen. Your life becomes a system designed to prevent tension. That is not peace. That's containment. And containment always costs something. It costs honesty. It costs conviction. It even costs spontaneity. Eventually, it costs identity. This is why people wake up one day and say, "I don't know how I got here." They didn't get there in one move. They followed relief, step by step. Now, let's talk about the lock in moment. The trapdoor really seals when you stop asking, "Is this right for me?" and start asking, "Can I live like this?" That question sounds reasonable. It sounds mature, but it's a downgrade because "can I live with this" slowly replaces, "is this who I want to be?" And once the switch happens, the shadow takes over. You don't become evil and you don't become reckless. You become efficiently misaligned. Though you survive well, you cope smoothly, you drift quietly. Now let's run the trapdoor check. Not theory, not philosophy, just signals. So let me ask you, do you feel calmer when you avoid something important? Do you feel relief when expectations are lowered? even if you lose respect for yourself? Do you stay in situations not because they're right, but because leaving them feels harder than staying? Do you call exhaustion balance because it's predictable? Do you tell yourself, this is just how life is for now? If more of one of these stand out, relief is already steering. Now, here's the hard part. Relief doesn't announce itself as a trap. It actually presents itself as practicality, as realism, as adulthood. But a life built around relief will always ask you to trade depth for ease, truth for quiet, alignment for manageability. This channel exists to slow that moment down, to catch the exact second where relief starts making decisions for you. Because once relief becomes your compass, you don't notice the trapdoor closing. You just notice that you feel smaller. The trapdoor isn't about fear. It's about things that feel better while slowly hollowing you out. And once you see that, you start asking a different question. Not, does this feel easier? But, what am I becoming by choosing this? And that is the trapdoor.